Cinematic this year with another Game Boy Pickups video for you guys, and this one I am pretty excited about. I got my hands on something that I've been wanting to get a hold of ever since I got back into collecting for the Game Boy. It's something that I actually picked up a while ago, maybe like a few years ago. I bought for cinematic reasons and ended up not needing it because it didn't work out the way I had planned, and I'll explain that in a little bit. And I got it for like a really good price, and I got rid of it, and then I started collecting Game Boy games a few years later, and then I really regretted getting rid of it, but got my hands on another one, so we're going to see that to last. It's very cool, and I'm very excited. But let's take a look at some games I got. So, first up here, some goodies, once again, from J Street Video Games. Love hitting that store up, always find some awesome stuff. In fact, I really need to run out to the other location. They have a few locations, but there's two somewhat close to me. One in a mall that's very close to me, and one that's like in another mall that's a little bit further away, but not too far away. I really need to drive out there and see what they have. And so I've only been out there a couple of times, so one of these days we'll get back out there. But let's take a look at what I picked up here. So first, for the Game Boy is NFL Quarterback Club 96 for $2. Yep, it's just a football game. I'm not really into these. Football is not my sport. I like all the sports in the world. This is probably the one I'm least interested in. Yeah. Water polo, curling, cool. Football, just not my thing. I've never been a football fan, but I know a lot of people are. So anyway, I didn't have this one yet. It was $2. I just had to get it for my collection because I'm trying to get everything. Now this was also, and I'm not joking, I don't want to cover up the name of it, $1.99. I cannot believe this was so cheap because I played this. It's one of those games I popped in just to, I test all my games out. Popped in just to test it out, see what the game was, see if it was working, and next thing I know, like an hour later, I'm still playing the game. This was so much fun, and I so look forward to playing some more of this, and that is James Bond 007. I thought this was going to be garbage because it was $2. I was like, well, whatever, it's $2. I'm going to pick it up because, something else I need. It was only $2. I had to get it for the collection. But I wasn't expecting much out of it. For $2, I thought, this is going to be garbage. This game was awesome. It's kind of like Pokemon, sort of, but you're not, there's no fighting, pocket monsters or anything like that. You're walking around towns, and you're kind of talking to people, so you're collecting clues, and you're finding things, and then at some point you have to, like, battle, there's bosses you have to battle and stuff like that. It is so much fun. It's a very simple, watered-down game, like kind of like the original Pokemon games were. Very simple, very watered-down. You're just kind of walking around, finding things, sort of like role-playing, RPG. But it's done very well, and it's very enjoyable, and I was blown away by how much I enjoyed this game. And it just goes to show you, you can keep a game very simple and make it a lot of fun, which is like the reason why I always put down Game Boy Color. Is I just think they were just trying way too hard on the Game Boy Color in most games. Most Game Boy Color games, I'm like, if you just would have toned this back a little bit, you probably would have had a really fun game. But you try to be like a PlayStation game on a Game Boy Color. Doesn't work. But there you go. You keep it simple and you have a fun game. And this was really fun. I'd recommend this one. If you come across this one, pick it up. That was a fun game. All right, then some more Game Boy / Game Boy Color here. We have NBA Jam 99. Cool. Basketball, I mean, it's okay. Not really, not a sport I'm really into. Not that I'm really into any sports, but basketball is another one that I'm just kind of like, okay. It's a basketball game. There's not much more to say about that. I popped in and tried it. It was just basketball. I didn't have it yet. It was $2. So I grabbed it. It's always fun to pick up these black cards too. All right, and then two Game Boy Color games. First one we have here is Sesame Street Sports, which was actually surprisingly decent. I said before, you can make a game for kids that's not stupid. You don't have to water your game down so much that it just makes for a dumb game. It just makes kids just idiotic. You don't have to do it. When I was a kid, the games I grew up on, like when I was a little tiny kid, I was playing, Super Mario Bros. And stuff like that. And it's a shame that they put out games like, well, not like this, but like, little kid games that really just tone the gameplay down and the skill down and basically just hand the game to the kids. And that is an absolute shame when they do that. But then you have a game like this that's kind of fun. As it says, Sesame Street Sports. And let's see, I'm trying to think of who does what. Looks like Zoe is doing something with like a big wheels. Elmo is rollerblading, and yes, if I do remember, Ernie is in like a boat or a bathtub or something like that, and he's on like the water. There's Cookie Monster, Big Bird, and Grover as well. And I forget exactly what they do. I want to say Grover was the one in the snow. There was like a I don't think he was snowboarding. He was like sledding, and you hit these bumps, and you're collecting things. You got to collect like every like a little token in the level. But it plays really well. You're just going down, and it's really like hand-eye coordination for the kids. The controls are done very, very well, and when you hit a bump, if you right at the end of the bump, you hit it, and whoever flips around and collects like the token. And again, it's a simple game. Sure, it's not like it's all that involved or anything. It's a very simple game, but I'm playing this thinking this is kind of fun. It's actually enjoyable. I actually played all of Grover's level, and then I went into Ernie's level. I played some more. It was actually fun, and the controls are just spot on. So it goes to show you don't have to tone your game down so much that you just say, "Hey, children, you're stupid." You can actually make something fun, something not extremely challenging, but something with a bit of challenge to it, and just something that shows kids games are fun. I think that's what this does. This is actually pretty cool. I'd recommend if you have a youngster, or even if you just want a fun kids game for some reason. It's cool. And that was also only $1.99, $2. Now this I paid $5 for, and again, I can't believe this was only $5. Maybe J Street is like making their games cheaper. I don't know, but I can't believe I found James Bond for $2, and this for only $5. This is like one of the last games I need to get. I think there's like one more, but it's technically like I think it's a spin-off game, and this is a Tetris game. I think it's Hatris. I think is the only Tetris game I'm missing. I think, if I'm not mistaken, for the Game Boys anyway. I think it's the only one I don't have. But technically Hatris isn't even a Tetris game, it's just a spin-off game. So this is the last one I really, really need to get, and that is Magical Tetris Challenge. And as you can see there, starring Mickey Mouse. There's Mickey and there's Pete. They're battling on the front. It's a Capcom game. This is like RPG meets Tetris. You're Mickey Mouse. You're going around town. You're talking to different characters. You're looking for clues. It kind of reminded me of Pokemon, where you're battling. Because you're going to like different. It's kind of like you're going to different like Pokemon gyms, and you're battling different people, but you battle them in a game of Tetris, which. That's sort of the downfall of the game, is the games last really long. I'm playing, I'm like, oh my god, how long is this Tetris game going to go on? It just went on and on and on. Every battle was like a 20-minute Tetris game. Okay, I mean, I'm exaggerating, but it took forever. And that was the only downfall. Like, I wanted something more quick. That's the cool thing about Pokemon, is that, like, the battle's usually fairly, quick and whatnot. And of course turn-based as well. This is just you playing a game of Tetris against like the CPU, and it's okay. It's cool. So this was interesting. It's an interesting take on Tetris. It's Tetris meets like RPG with the Disney characters, which is definitely cool. So this is pretty fun. This is neat. And again, I can't believe it was $5. I saw this sitting there, and I was like, my eyes wide open. I'm like, I need to get this. I'm looking for this. I almost bought this off of eBay, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be like a $10 game. I flipped it over, and when I saw it only said $5, it was mine. So very cool pickup. Very happy about that. All right, then 2 titles here from Listia. First thing we have, this is really cool. This is Kirby's Dream Land 2, which unfortunately a bit of fading, some writing, but whatever. It was free off Listia. I took it. The game works perfectly. I feel kind of bad, though. This guy who I won this off of accidentally, apparently, he said he sent me another game by accident. He sent that one to somebody else, one other game off him. He actually sent it to me. He meant to send it to somebody else. He's like, oh, when that game arrives, can you send it back? And I was like, oh yeah, sure, no problem. I'll ship it. I'll probably gonna express it back to him. I'll send it right back to him. No, not an issue. Mistakes happen. I get it. I never got that game. This showed up, the game I won, but the other game has not shown up, and I hope he has a tracking number. This has a tracking number, so I hope he has a tracking number on the other one. I'll have to contact him and ask him about that, because it hasn't showed up yet, so we'll have to see what that's about. But at least I got the game I won, so that's cool. So Kirby's Dream Land 2, very cool. I do have Kirby's Dream Land. Fantastic, super fun Kirby games. Very awesome, and free off Listia. You can't complain about that. And then also, again, free off Listia is Gex Enter the Gecko. A fun platformer. You're a gecko and you go around hitting people with your tail and you're collecting things and you're just jumping around. It's a platform. It's a platforming game. It's okay. It's not amazing, but it was fun. It's decent. It's a mediocre platform, but it is cool. So Gex, Enter the Gecko, fun. Not amazing, but fun. All right, so that was that. Now on to the last goodie, which I have here in this box. I'm so excited about what's inside here. Let's just pull everything out. Try to do this without you guys see what I'm pulling out here. And I think yes, these two. Okay. All right, guys. So excited about this. Here's what I got. We have a GameCube. Yeah, Nintendo GameCube with the Game Boy Advance adapter attached to the bottom. This is something I really wanted as soon as I got back into collecting for the Game Boy, because I love being able to play my Game Boy games on my TV. Yes, playing them handheld is great. 99% of the time, I'm probably going to play my games on the go. I'm going to be out and about playing them. But every now and then, when I'm at home, I'm so excited. I'm like stumbling my words. I'm so excited about having this. When I'm at home, I will play my games sometimes at home on my Game Boy. But I'm thinking, when I'm at home, it'd be really cool to be able to just pop them in and play them on my actual TV. Big full screen. That'd be awesome. So I really wanted these. Now, I did, some of you may remember, a couple years ago, this is back when I was up in the old library, the library up in the spare bedroom of the house. I got one of these, and the whole reason why I got one was because I wanted to have it to watch my Game Boy Advance videos on. I was like, that'd be cool. Pop my Game Boy Advance videos in here, watch them on my TV. Awesome. I had to get one of these. I want a player for everything, so I had to get one of these. Nope, you cannot play Game Boy Advance videos through this. It doesn't work. It's for copyright reasons. Apparently, I don't know if it's Nintendo or who. We're afraid that people were going to pirate the Game Boy Advance video cards, in the sense they were going to plug this in, through a VCR and record the Game Boy Advance video cards onto a VHS tape or something like that. It was for piracy reasons why they didn't do that. I kind of get that, but if you've ever seen a Game Boy Advance video, if you've seen how horrible it looks, crappy frame rate, extremely pixelized. I mean, they're taking a video and like a movie, sometimes a movie, yes, full movies on a Game Boy Advance card, or just episodes of a TV show, and they're shoving this onto a Game Boy Advance card. It doesn't look very good. It's pretty crappy, and why anybody in the right mind would want to pirate that, I have no idea. I mean, I get why they want to maybe pirate the cart, but why they would want to pirate that onto a VHS, that makes no sense to me. But that's what they were scared of, so you can't do that. So I got one of these for $25 off Craigslist. $25 off Craigslist a couple years ago, which, for those of you who collect games and whatnot, you know that that's a really, really good deal for a GameCube with a Game Boy Advance adapter. It's a fantastic deal. And I sold it. And I got my money back. I sold it for $25. I got back how much I paid for it, so that's good. But now that I started collecting, months ago when I started collecting Game Boy games again, I was like, man, wish I would have kept that. So ordered this, and I paid $100 for it. And that seems to be about the going rate for a GameCube with the Game Boy Advance adapter. That's the going rate. Could I have found for cheaper? I'm sure one of them would have come up for cheaper on eBay. There were a few cheaper than this one, but they weren't as in good condition. The GameCube was like a little, scratched up and dinged up, and some of them had controllers that were like the rubber was coming off the buttons and stuff. I'm like, no. So paid $100 for one that's in like perfect shape here. Very cool. This little handle on the back. Very, very cool. Very awesome. So in fantastic shape. And yeah, $100. So it is what it is. That was kind of the going rate at like my game stores in the area, like JC Video Game and stuff like that. That's the price they sell for. $50 for the GameCube, $50 for the adapter. So again, it seems to be the going rates. I was okay paying $100. I was not going to pay over $100. I had to wait for one that was. I've been looking at one of these for a couple weeks now, and it only just last week did one for $100 that I was satisfied with show up. So I was like, okay, $100 is what I'm willing to pay. And I jumped on it and got it. So very cool. I'm very happy to have this. And it does come with the, and this is the main thing, guys. For those of you out there looking to get one of these, this right here. The Game Boy Advance Player Startup Disc. This is basically what is worth $50. This right here, this adapter, is worth about $1. Like, I've been talking to people in video game stores, and they're like, yeah, we have piles of those adapters in the back. He's like, just boxes and boxes, and they're piled up against walls. He's like, we can make a house out of these things. Most video game stores I'm talking to, they all say the same thing. We have so many of those. He's like, what we don't have is the disc. This is what's worth the money. This is where the money is. These are a dime a dozen. These are just so freaking rare, apparently. So, I was pretty excited to see one with these starter discs. There are plenty of these on eBay without the starter disc, but I wasn't going to do that. So, very cool. That's awesome. And I have tested this out. That's why it was unboxed. I knew what it was immediately. I went to test it immediately. It works. So, awesome. Also, I didn't know this was coming with it. We have a GameCube game, Dinotopia, The Sunstone Odyssey. I have no interest in this. I am only getting this to play Game Boy games on. I know I have a GameCube now. Will I be playing? You guys may be thinking, well, am I going to start buying GameCube games? No. I have no interest in GameCube games. I'm sticking solely to Game Boy. Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. That is what I collect. That is what I play. And that is what I will continue to only play. I have no interest in GameCube games. This is going up on Listia. I have no interest in it. But cool, I didn't know this was coming with it. I don't know if they threw this in separately, or maybe I missed it on the listing. I didn't see them talk about this. So cool that I got a free game along with it. And of course, it does come with the cables. Unfortunately, composite, not component. The component cables for a GameCube, they go for like $300. Like, crazy rare. Why, I don't know why, a third-party company hasn't started putting these cables out. They can make well, not composite, but component cables out. They can make like a fortune off them. They can sell them for like $50, something like that. They'd sell. So very, very cool. Maybe someday down the line I'll find component cables. That'd be cool. And of course, it also came with, the power cord, obviously. And it did come with one controller. So very, very cool. A purple controller. So awesome. Very, very cool. I'm very excited about that. That is great. Like I said, I've been wanting to get my hands on that since when I started collecting, back in the spring. When I started collecting Game Boy games, I was like, I need to get myself a GameCube because I really want to be able to play these on my TV. But they were kind of expensive. I was hoping to find one for cheaper. I hadn't come across one yet, so I got kind of to the point where I'm like, screw it. It's almost been a year now I've been collecting for Game Boy. I'm just going to pay the $100. I'm going to pay the going rate, get it. Of course, now that I did that, I'm sure I'll come across like 50 more of these. But to tell you the truth, if I'm at a flea market and I come across a GameCube with a Game Boy Advance adapter and the disc, somebody wants like $20 for it, I'm probably going to buy it. I'm not going to pass up on that. So if I come across these for cheap down the line, I'll pick them up just as backups. But anyway, very cool. Very awesome. A lot of fun games. So, all right, guys, there you go. That is it. So, like I always say, thank you guys so much for checking this video out. Be sure to hit that like button down below. Also, if you're not already subscribed, please do. I do a brand new daily sickness video every single day, so hit the subscribe button. You'll see a new video from me every day. And also, if you're not already over at cinemasickness.com watching this video, if you're watching this on YouTube, look down below in the description. You'll see a link to cinemasickness.com. A lot more to see there than just these videos. In fact, my entire Game Boy collection is listed over there. If you want to see every Game Boy game I own, head over there, check it out. And also, down below, you're going to see a link to Listia. It's a special link just for me. If you use that link to sign up for Listia to get all kinds of, I lost it here, all kinds of free goodies off Listia. It's a point-based auction website. If you sign up using that link down below, you'll get 1,000 free starter points, but you got to use that link down below. So please do that if you want to sign up for Listia. It's a great site. I highly recommend it. And all right, that is it. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next Game Boy Pickups video and my next Daily Sickness video. See you then, guys. Bye.